like this one a lot. Alright, so today we're going to do a hybrid scratch of a delete scratch and something we did kind of last time. We were doing a scribble flare, but we're just going to take the scribble and merge it with the delete. So this is going to be like a scribble delete. Alright, so what's going to happen is, so this is how a delete scratch goes. A delete is like this. It goes that's a delete scratch. So it's going a rub and then a half flare and then a backwards rub and then a half flare. Alright, so that's a regular delete scratch. And notice how this scratch is cool because you know, you're doing it on both sounds, the kick and the snare. If you're using phrase scratching, some vocal samples, you can have it on two sounds. And so you're going a rub on the kick, the first sound, and then a half flare on both sounds, and then a backwards rub on just the snare, and then a half flare on both on the way back. So it sounds like this. All right, so that's a delete scratch. So it goes. Alright, so let's go around a little bit better sound. So alright, turn this up a little bit. Alright, turn this up a little bit more. So that's a regular delete scratch. Now instead of just having a rub there, we're gonna place a scribble or tipping where that rub is. So instead of just going a regular like Grand Wizard Theodore rub, we're gonna do like that. So it's gonna be like a double scribble. So it's gonna be like that. So it's gonna go like that. So let's run it back. So it's going. So it's a scribble and then half flare and then a backwards double rub or a scribble or tipping if you want to call it on the snare, and then a half flare on the way back like that. So it's going and then so. That, so it's going. Alright, so it's like that. So it's just going, it's just scribble, then a half flare, and then a backward scribble, and a half flare. that again. Alright? So it's very, very simple. It's just going. So it's kind of tricky because the trickiest part about this is doing the reverse scribble on the way back, because, you know, we're all used to kind of just going forward scribbles, but when you're going and then on the way back, that scribble on the way back, it's kind of a different style to be able to do a backward scribble, because the backward scribble, you got to remember the first move isn't going forward, the first move is going backwards, so you're going like that. So you're doing it twice and then like that, and then a click on the way back. So alright. And this game could really integrate well into like a beat juggling set, when if you're like juggling back and forth and doing something and then you drop one of these, it sounds really cool. So so now we're going to go a little bit faster with this, and we're going to see what it's like, you know, mixing with some other things. We're going to go through a bunch of different sounds and see which sounds it sounds the best on. Alright, and we're going to do a metronome to this too, a little bit later. Alright, so let's get this going again. So let's try that again. So oops, I'm good. Let's see what it's like with the beat. Like, and then faster and faster, and the better you get at this, you'll be able to do it so it's just like a really fast scribble. So, and this can kind of go. This fits well with regular deletes too, because you can do the regular deletes as double time like this. Watch. So, all right. So I'm gonna do a double time delete like. Alright, and that's it. That's it. So that's the Scribble Delete. Now, and another tutorial we'll do a half Scribble Delete, where it's one half you're doing the scribble and the other half is like a regular delete like this, where it's just going like that. So, but we'll do that in another tutorial. Alright, that's going to be another one. But let's just focus on the scribble on both sides of it. So, Now let's see what that sounds like. You know what? Let's probably draw this first. We're going to draw this first, but let's just go do this a little bit one more time and go a little bit faster. Here we go. So we're going to start off slow. Just like that. So Alright, so let's try this again. So we're gonna go. Now we're going to do this with a, let's try this maybe with the metronome. So yeah, let's turn on a metronome. I'm going to go over to the computer. I'm going to get a metronome cracking. I'm going to type in metronome, M-E-T-R. We've got this metronome. So let's start off at like, I'm going to start off at 90 beats per minute. Alright, so we got the metronome at 90 beats per minute. Remember, it's going to be a scribble, and then a half flare, and then a backwards scribble, and then a backwards half flare. Or you can look at it as two rubs when you're going slow, like this. So. Alright, so now we're going to speed this up. We're at 90 beats per minute. Now we're going to speed this up to, let's go to 100. Alright, we're going to go to 100. Let's put it back on the beat we had it at first. So there he goes. We're going to go. So we got it. So we're at 100 beats per minute. We're going to start with the drums. Alright, now we're going to change the sound. Back to the ah. Let's do fresh. Alright, so we got it mastered at 100. Now we're going to speed it up. Let's go to 110. Alright, we're going to start with the drums. speed it up. Go to 125. So remember, anytime you're learning a new scratch, this is like lifting weights. You're just putting a new weight on every time. Alright, so that's easy. We're going to speed it up some more. Keep going faster. Now I'm going to go up to like maybe 135. And we're doing the halftime speed of this so we can get faster and faster so we can go normal speed. Go faster. Going to 145. We should go. Dubba dubba dut dut dubba dubba wacko dubba dubba wacko dubba dubba wacko. Hear what it sounds like with another sound. Let's say like ah or something. Alright, so let's go faster. I'm going to go to 160. Alright, let's try with the drums. Alright, step it up, speed this up. Now we're at 170. Let's speed it up. Let's go to 180. Alright, let's try with like a sample. Alright. go faster. 190. Now you can, so this is 100, 190. You can do it this, or you can do the half speed of it. But all right, let's try it with the kick and the snare. Let's go faster. So we're going to go a lot slower now. So 195. We're not going to make super huge jumps. So this one's just a 5-minute BPM jump. Alright, let's try with the one of these sounds, the hour fresh. Let's try it, let's see. Alright, let's go back to the kick and snare. Another one, we'll go to that one later. Alright, let's go a little bit faster. I'm going to go to 200 now. 200 beats per minute. So now we're at 200. We have the option to go back to 100 because this is just the same speed. So remember, 200 beats per minute, 100 beats per minute is the same thing basically. Let me tilt my hair back. I notice my hair distracts me if I have to have my hair tied back if I'm cutting. And this is also, for DJs out there, you want to find what's really comfortable for you. Like I notice if I'm like riding a bicycle, it kind of affects my forearms, and it's not good to scratch right after you ride a bicycle. I notice that. I notice if I'm like raking leaves or doing a lot of like mowing a lawnmower or something, or doing a lot of stuff that's strenuous for my forearms, it's not good to do that like right before you do a DMC or something, because I notice that it takes away. And I also notice that when my hair is like, I have really long hair. If my hair is flowing everywhere, it kind of distracts me. Also, my wedding ring, I take my wedding ring off because it kind of distracts me. I like to have everything kind of out of the way. Alright, so now we're going to go faster. So this is going to be more difficult. Here it goes. So it's gonna go double double waka, 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 double double waka. Alright, that's it. Alright. Alright. Speed it up a little bit. Now we're at 205. Alright, let's try to go a little bit faster. So the front end ones are always going to be easier. So you notice, like, when I did mess up a few times in that, it was always like my back ended one kind of like, instead of being a scribble or a tip, it kind of turns into like a tear or something like that if you don't do enough back and forth in enough time. So it should be 1, 2, 3, 4. So like double double. And then waku, so it's going double waku, double waku, double waku, double waku, like that. All right. So we're at we're at a weird number. We're at 208. Let me put this on a more round number. Alright, this is at 205. We're at 205 beats per minute. Alright. Let's try it with the sample. So you're going to notice, if you saw what was happening just now, you'll see that it's easier to do it with like a sample, because, you know, when you're doing it with just a kick in the snare or like a phrase sample, you have the big space in between, and then if you do it on the big space, if you do the scratch on one of those spaces, like either the rub or, I mean, like the, you know, the scribbles on the space, you're not going to hear it. But when you're, you know, scratching a long sample like ah or fresh, you're going to hear the whole thing. Alright, now let's go faster. Let's go to 210. Alright, so we're at 210 beats per minute, same as 105. speed it up some. You go to 215. Alright, let's move it up. Go a little bit faster. We're at 215, now we're going to hit 220. Oh, we can't do 220, so we're going to have to do 110. We don't have 220, so we're going to have to go to 110. We're going to get back to 110. let's see if we can do 125. All right. Alright, so now let's do a beat with this. So we're just going to go. Alright, now we're going to draw this out. So the way this scratch is going, it's basically going like this. So it's basically a scribble, right? And then it's going forward. It's got a click right there in the middle. Alright, so diva diva wako, and then on the way back it's going the same thing, but it's going right there like that, and then like that, and then another click right here. Alright, so it's basically like this. So this is a Scribble Delete. Scribble Delete. Alright, so we're going to call that a Scribble Delete. This is basically a delete scratch is going diva wako, but this has diva wako. Alright, so it's like that. So that's a Scribble Delete. Alright, put that up maybe higher so you can see that closer. It's a Scribble Delete. Alright, and I'll just show what a regular delete is. So a scribble scratch is this. We can call this tipping, right? Right there, like diva, right? Now, a delete scratch looks like this. So this is a scribble, right? And then a delete is like this. The delete is going diva wako, and then diva wako, like that. And there's a click here, and there's a click here, like that. Alright, so it's going, this is a delete. Alright, this is a delete. Alright, so we're adding this scribble. This scribble right here is basically, the scribble is going to write this area right there. So it's a scribble and a scribble. So it's a Scribble Delete. So this is the hardest part, is on the way back, is doing a backward scribble, is what I found in my experience. It's like, you know, if you've done this for years, if you can do a scribble, you can do that. But can you do a backward scribble? So I had been practicing that for a little while, just to do the backward scribble. That's what makes this much harder than just doing that. And we'll do some hybrids of this one in the future. But yeah, this one's really sick. So it's going diva wako, diva wako. And it's basically like this. It's basically, let's see how many sounds it is. So it's going 1, 2, 3, 4. So maybe use my finger. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 sounds. Let's count that again just to be sure. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's 12 sounds. Scribble Delete. 12 sounds, and that's 2 clicks. So that's pretty cool. So you're getting 12 sounds, but it's only 2 clicks. So, you know, like I said before, this whole year I've been practicing stuff that doesn't have a lot of clicks, but it makes a lot of sounds. So you know, we're gonna start doing, you know, faderless stuff. But before we get into the faderless stuff, we're going into this minimal click type of stuff. So yeah, this is the Scribble Delete. Alright, so this is a variation of DJ Trouble's Scribble Scratch, I mean a delete scratch, you know? So it's basically delete scratch, but instead of just scratching, instead of just doing one rub right here, like this, instead of just doing one rub like diva wako, you're doing diva wako, like that, you know? And you can also break it up like this if you want to look at it in terms of, there's another way of looking at it. You could look at it like, I'm going to go like this. So this plus this equals this, and we're going to make it look like, so we're going to do the scribble, small, it's going to go, right, but I'm going to put a thing on the end of the scribble, and then I'm going to go wako, and then like that, but then I'm going to put another thing right here, another open fader node, so you can see there's a back reverse scribble, and then another open fader node, and then forward, and then a like that. So it's just a click here, like that. So it's going dava dava waku dava dava waku. All right, and I didn't put any open fader symbols here or here or here, just so you can see, because it just kind of makes it, that's chopping it up into its smallest parts. So really, this is just a scribble. As you can see, just a scribble, and then a half click flare forward, and then a scribble, and then a reverse scribble, and then a reverse half of a flare. Okay, so this is, I'll write that down. So I'll write scribble. I'll just write tip, and then I'm going to write plus 1/2 flare, alright, plus reverse tip, plus reverse 1/2 flare. Alright, so it's like that. So it's going scribble to, and let me write it better with like a better pencil so you can see the sections. Alright, we can kind of bisect it like this. I'm going to draw it, I'm going to go like this. Alright, so you can see it much better. Alright, so right here's the center point. This is the center point of the scratch. This is the starting point. This is the ending point. Alright. Now, so this part, this is a scribble. So you could say a tip or scribble. Right? So you can look at it as a tip. And then this is a 1/2 flare. It's a 1/2 flare right there, and then this part right here, this part is a reverse. Let's say reverse tip, or you can say a reverse scribble. Reverse scribble. Alright, now this part, you see right here on the way back, this is a reverse, not reverend, but reverse flare, 1/2 flare, reverse 1/2 flare. Alright, so that's it right there. These are the elements of it. Alright. So it looks like that. So this is the Scribble Delete. Alright. So this is 12 sounds, 2 clicks. Alright. And a lot of changes of direction. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 changes of direction. Alright. So that's a lot of changes of directions. That's where all the sounds are coming from. It's 9 changes of directions. That's 2 clicks. That's where you get the those other 3 sounds from. Alright. So yeah, that's basically that. That's that scratch. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go through some different kits on here and see what they sound like. See which ones sound the coolest. A little bit. Alright. So here we go. So so ones where the snare is really loud, it's a lot more abrasive. Before we were using a rim shot that was really quiet. And so here it goes. So, alright. that sounded cool. But the snare is real loud and kind of chunky, so you have to be real careful about where you're starting your reverse scribble. Alright, so. Alright, so let's move on. Let's go to another one. Next sound. So here we go. So. I like this one a lot. I like this a lot because the snare is longer than the average like rim shot, but it's still quiet. It's a quiet snare. All right. So. That one sounds cool. I like that one. Let's go to the next. A little bit faster now, so. All right. I like how that one sounds, because this snare is a lot more muffled. It sounds more like a kick or something else, or some type of percussion. Alright, so. On to the next. Not this one. That one doesn't have a defined one. Skip that. So. I like this sound. Once again, I like this percolator kind of sound. This kick sounds like a bubble kind of, very synthetic. But the thing is that this snare is just so loud. It's real abrasive when you start scratching. It's where you go fast. So let's try it. Let's try that now. and that snare is so abrasive that you don't even hear going back and forth when you're going tip, 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 tip. It doesn't. You don't even hear it really. You know, so it's very abrasive. So. So I don't really like it on that one. You see how this one sounds very different than the other ones. So yeah, I don't like it with this one. So move on. Now this is one we've been using. So let's hear it in contrast again. So alright, you see how clear that one is when the last one didn't sound that clear. Let's try another one. This is because that rim shot is very quiet. Alright. So let's try this now. I like that one. That one's hot. That was dope. I like that. It's because that snare is really quiet. So the snare is almost like a percussion sound instead of a snare. It's not even like a real hard snare. It's like a so. Well, it is a snare, but it's real muffled. It's very muffled. It doesn't have a lot of high end. So when you scratch fast on this, you know, so the bassier snares, I guess, sound better on this. Alright, so that one sounds really cool. It has kind of like a carnival vibe. Like alright, so alright, it's like a beatbox. Or maybe the snare has a beatbox. But this is maybe not a beatbox sound. It's like some mix of sounds. But this is a dope sound. So here it goes. So. Cool because it has kind of like a Brazilian kind of vibe. Like it has kind of like that big band kind of bossa nova kind of the heavy stuff kind of. that kick is real muffled and bleeds into the other sound, and it sounds cool. All that muffled stuff kind of sounded cool, and I liked how that sounded. All right, so let's go on to another one. Next. So here we go. So let's see if we can make this louder. So here you go. So why is it so quiet? Let me fix this. Yeah, since the sound is so quiet, it's very, very muffled. Let's try where we were. So you notice the kick is way quieter than the snare. Listen. So the snare is really loud, so I'm going to have to compensate for this one. So let's try it now. I don't like how that sounds. Totally don't like it. Let's try the next. Oh, that one sounds cool. So. Try it again. I like the kick in this, but I don't really like the snare that much. I love this kick. It's one of my favorite kicks to scratch. And I like this snare for like regular stuff, but just not on this, because this snare is really nice because you can get a lot of nice rolls on it when you twiddle and crab. Like, right? It's got a lot of nice sounds, but now when we do this sound, it's a lot different. So let's try this one we're focusing on today, the Scribble Delete. So. Alright, so let's try it again. So. Alright, sounds cool. Next. So here we go. So. like that one a lot. That one, I really like this one, how this sounds. And it has that extra hi-hat on the top too, which sounds kind of cool. Usually that hi-hat annoys me in a lot of the other hybrids and stuff, all these other ones we've been doing, but this one I like it a lot, so let's try it again. So. Alright, let's go to the next. Let's start slow, so. Snare is super loud. I don't really like this one. The snare is just kind of like a little bit too loud for me. So a little bit too big and it's just too much, because when you scribble on the snare, it really intensifies it, and then it's like it just feels too harsh for me. Alright, so try that again. So. Alright, try the next one. That one doesn't have a kick snare, a 16th note kick snare. So now we're going to flip on the other side, see what's on here. So here we go. So. Alright. This one's kind of loud. This one, the snare, you don't even hear the snare really, because it's like that ride in between the kick and the snare. dominates it. So let's see. Nope, don't like how that sounds. Next. Let's see this one. So. Sounds cool. I like that. Imagine that if you were juggling some sounds that has that kind of sound, and you're going back and forth, and you did a triple 3D, and then you did this. That would be kind of sick. So this is like. So this one's got a guitar hit in it, like on the snare. So let's see what happens. So it's kind of loud. Turn this down a little bit. It's still kind of harsh, and it's hard to hear where the things are. It's not as defined. This sounds cool, but I'm not really feeling it that much. Nope, not feeling it. Next one. Sounds alright, I don't really like that one. Alright, this one might sound cool because there's a lot of space in between. I like this one when there's space in between them, generally. Turn this one up. I like that one. I like it because the snare is like kind of equal to the kick. Alright, yeah, I like this one. So let's see. Alright. Next. This down, so Alright, sounds cool. Not feeling that one that much. Alright. My fingers are starting to hurt. Alright, so this one might sound cool. So. Alright, I like that one. Alright. Alright, I like that one a lot. Alright, next. Alright, let's try that again. Alright. That one's alright. Wasn't really feeling it. On to the next. So. Cool, I like that, but it's kind of hard. It's not clear, you know, what you're actually scratching. So let's try it again. Sounded cool. Sounded alright. See, this one, the kick is just so much louder than the snare, so let's try it. So. Next. Oh, that was cool. Nope, this one doesn't have a 16th note kick snare. So here it goes. Alright. Whoops. The snare is super loud, it's just too loud for this. So yes, it's way too loud. It sounds better when I go slow, so the snare is not as loud, it's a lower pitch. Like alright. And that's it. Yep, that's it. Alright. Now we can move on to some like samples and some sounds. Let's try some samples. Alright. Alright, now we're gonna try a little phrase sample on this. We got that say what sound, so here it goes. Say what? Alright, so say what? Alright, so there it goes, so let's see what it sounds on this. So. Nope, don't like how it sounds on that. Let's try some other sounds. Try some sounds, some of these computery sounds we were using before. Some synthesizer sounds. Let's get kind of synthed up. So you see it sounds kind of, on the out sound it doesn't sound that great. It sounds cooler on those like synthesizer sounds and, you know.
Don't say nothing, just give it here. Come on.
Alright, so this sounds like... That's what it sounds like. Alright, so we're going to do a recap. We got the Scribble Delete. Alright, this is the recap. Got the Scribble Delete right here. So it's going waku, waku. So this is a scribble, forward scribble. We could call it a tip. And then a half flare forward. And then a reverse scribble, or you could call it a reverse tip. And then a, reverse half flare on the way back. So waku. So it goes waku. So waku, waku. This is the hardest part right here. In my experience, this is the part that I actually had to practice, because I can go super fast on these. There's no limit to how fast I can go on these, but on this, there's a limit to how fast I can go. And we got to like what, 115 beats per minute, 125 beats per minute. That's as fast as I can go on these backwards ones. These forward ones I can go super fast. So next time I'm going to do a hybrid of this, where it's just this on the way forward, and on the way back it's not these. It's just like a regular delete, where it's just one of these. So it's just going to waku, and it's not going to be double. So it's going to be a half scribble delete. So we're going to do that one in the future. All right, and yeah, that wraps it up. All right, so that's the Scribble Delete. All right, peace.